Prophets in the Bible prayed with prostration, but most Christians don't. In moments of great reverence and deep humility, prophets and great leaders in the Bible often prayed with prostration, falling to the ground before God. This practice reflects the utmost submission to his divine will. Take, for example, Abraham. In Genesis 17, verse 3, it says, "Then Abram fell on his face, and God talked with him." Abraham's prostration was a response to God's covenant promise. When Moses and Aaron faced a rebellious assembly in the wilderness, they turned to God in complete submission. In Numbers 16:22, they fell upon their faces and said, "O God, the God of the spirits of all flesh." Prostration became a symbol of their dependence on God during moments of crisis. Similarly, Joshua fell on his face in worship before the commander of the Lord's army. In Joshua 5, verse 14, Joshua fell on his face to the earth and worshipped, saying, "What does my Lord say to his servant?" During the time of drought, Elijah bowed low on Mount Carmel, pleading for rain. In 1 Kings 18, verse 42, Elijah went up to the top of Mount Carmel, and he bowed himself down on the earth and put his face between his knees. This posture showed the intensity of his prayer and his utter reliance on God. Even in the New Testament, this act of prostration continued, especially by Jesus himself. In Matthew 26, verse 39, before his arrest, Jesus prayed, and going a little farther, he fell on his face and prayed, saying, "My Father, if it be possible, let this cup pass from me. Nevertheless, not as I will, but as you will." Peter, James, and John also fell to the ground in awe and fear during the transfiguration of Jesus. In Matthew 17, verse 6, when the disciples heard this, they fell on their faces and were terrified. Despite the many examples of prostration in the Bible, most Christians today do not practice it. Instead, they often pray while sitting, standing, or kneeling. However, prostration remains a key practice in another major faith, Islam. Muslims continue to prostrate during their prayers, following the example of many biblical prophets. For Muslims, placing one's forehead on the ground in submission is a central part of worship, symbolizing complete surrender to God. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more content on faith, history, and scripture.